So this is the hardware on which I will be installing the TrueNAS latest version, and let me explain you about the hardware that I have. So I have two power supply unit. This is the secondary power supply unit, and this is the primary power supply unit. For redundancy, I have the Intel processor with 4 cores, and I have customized it for better cooling. I've added additional fan there, and I have 2 hard disks as of now. This is the 3.5 inch SATA, which is 500 GB, and I have 1 TB hard disk. This is again SATA, and this is 1 TB, and the input output device, which is keyboard and mouse, attached to the USB port here. So this USB port is connected to a hub, and I have the mouse connected to the hub, and the keyboard is connected to this particular USB port available here, and this is the VGA port which connects to the external screen. And I have 2 RAM sticks here, and these are 4 GB each, which makes it to 8 GB RAM. And yeah, I have a lot of SATA expansion slots available, so I can expand it to 4, and I have the PCI available as well. So if I want to expand the SSD drive slot or SATA drive slot, I can simply insert the PCI card and I can expand it using the expansion slot. So these are the 2 onboard NIC, NIC1 and NIC2, and I will be using NIC1. 1 is enough for the setup, and a net cable that provides the internet and the IP address. So this will be connected to port number 1, which is this one. So that's pretty much about the hardware. It is totally customized for the TrueNAS storage purpose, and we will be preparing this particular USB drive, which is 32 GB HP pen drive, and we will be preparing this particular pen drive to have the TrueNAS loaded, and to use this particular pen drive to write the TrueNAS onto our another USB drive. So I'll be using USB drive here for the OS installation, which is TrueNAS installation. This is 64 GB USB flash drive, and the drives that you see here, which is drive number 1 and drive number 2, I will be using these 2 drives for the data sets. So this will be used for the installation of TrueNAS, the OS drive, and rest of the 2 hard drives that you see will be used for the installation, used for the storage purposes for the data sets. Let's move on to the installation part and preparing our pen drive for the booting purpose. So let's make our pen drive bootable with TrueNAS OS. Let's try to do that from the PC. So the pen drive is inserted into this system, as you can see on my screen. So this is the pen drive, 32 GB inserted, TrueNAS, and you will have to download this particular application, which is Rufus. I'll share the link in the description. So you can download this directly. I am using 4.4 as you can see here, but you can get the latest one, and you can download the TrueNAS core version or the scale version as per your requirement. I am using core version, which is based on the legacy FreeNAS. So from this link you can download this directly. It is a freeware open source. So once you have downloaded, so you can see this is the stable version of TrueNAS core 13.0U6.2. as we talk, this is the current latest stable version, and we have the Rufus. Let's try to run Rufus. So now we have Rufus running. Let's try to select the TrueNAS that we have downloaded. So this is the TrueNAS that we have downloaded, ISO image. Click open, and you can see the disclaimer. As a result, DD image writing mode will be enforced, so which is required for TrueNAS. Click OK. And now if you see, automatically it takes the flash drive, which is the TrueNAS 32 GB. You do not need to change anything, and you will have to adjust your target system from BIOS to UEFI as per the BIOS running on your server. So mine is the legacy BIOS, so I'm going to start the process. Click OK. It is going to take some time to make the pen drive or the flash drive bootable with TrueNAS, and after that we will insert this pen drive, which is bootable with TrueNAS operating system, into the server. The flash drive is now ready. Let's try to close this, and you can see it is no more visible because of the formatting done. So let me try to insert this flash drive into the server and try to change the boot priority and force the server to boot from the pen drive, which is bootable with TrueNAS. Flash drive is inserted, which is bootable with TrueNAS latest stable version. You can see here. Let me try to show you the boot process as well. I'm going to change the boot priority, and I'm going to select the flash drive that we have prepared. So you can see on my screen, USB HP is the one bootable with TrueNAS operating system. So keep the boot priority in order, and once you are done, F10, okay, and then let the server boot. So it is going to boot from the USB flash drive. Now we are loading the kernel. So you can see the option boot TrueNAS installer. You can see the option here. First option is install upgrade, reboot system, shut down system. So I'm going to select the first option and click OK. And like I was telling, I did not attach the two hard drives. I have one hard drive which is 500 gig and the pen drive 64 GB where I'm going to install this particular TrueNAS operating system. for the demonstration purpose. But if you have the dedicated hard drive for the OS installation, which is the TrueNAS OS installation, then you can select that. I'm going to select the second option, which is my pen drive, flash drive, 64 GB, like I explained in the beginning. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to click OK. I'm going to select the fresh installation, proceed with the installation. I'm going to insert the password. I'm going to select boot via BIOS. Now it will start the process of installation. And I have the DHCP server running on my perimeter device. So the TrueNAS server will automatically get the IP address assigned to it from the upstream perimeter device. And I can use that particular IP address to access the TrueNAS server and to do the initial configuration. So this particular tutorial is a complete guide from beginning on how to set up the hardware and what are the components that will be required, and the boot process, including the process of preparing your USB drive, and then the process of booting the USB drive and writing the data onto the hard drive or the flash drive. The TrueNAS installation on our flash drive, which is 64 GB, succeeded. And then now I will remove the flash drive, which was made bootable with the TrueNAS operating system, and I'm going to reboot the server. Now the installation is complete, and you can see the IP address assigned to this particular TrueNAS server, 192.168.0.6. So now we will move on to the next screen, where I'll show you the configuration from GUI to access this particular NAS server. And you can manage the device from the console as well. As you can see on my screen, you see multiple options like configure network interface, configure link aggregation, VLAN interface, default route, static route, DNS, password reset, shell access, reboot, shutdown. All the options are available from the console as well. But then in the next step, I'll show you how to set up the TrueNAS from the GUI, and we will try to access the TrueNAS from the browser using the IP address .6, and you have HTTP and HTTPS access both available. Username is credential remains the same. The settings that we have done during the installation, I'm using the same password to log into the device. Let's try to enable the SSH first. I'm going to select this option, login as root with password. Click save. Now the SSH is enabled. Let's try to check if we can access the TrueNAS server using the SSH, and then after that I'll show you the quick setup of how you can use the TrueNAS. Username is root. Let's try to see. Okay, the access is available. I've used the same password, and you can see I have allowed the root login as well. So the SSH and GUI access is available right now. So now we will try to go to storage, click on disk, and you can see I have two disks available. One is the hard drive, 3.5 inch, 500 gig. Another one is the 64 GB flash drive where the OS is installed. So this have the TrueNAS operating system installed. This is the available storage option. So let's try to go to pool, add a pool, create a pool. You can see the option here. Create a new pool, name it as TrueNAS. I'm not going to encrypt this. In the next section where available disk, you have to select the one in question, the hard disk 500 GB. Click this arrow to move this to the other end and check this option. And since we do not have multiple disks available, so we are forced to use stripe option. Otherwise, you have the other options available as well. For example, different RAID options like mirroring, parity. So a lot of options available, but as of now, for simplicity, I'm going to show you how you can use the hard disk and create the data set and store the data there. I'm going to force this, confirm, continue. So this is creating. Let's see what is the error. So the issue was with the name. I believe they do not accept the special characters. Now that the pool is available, so this is the pool that we have created. This is the parent pool. So you will not be able to give complete access to any user to this particular parent pool. And you can see the option here. So edit permission is not available for this particular pool. And you can access this pool. Okay, let me try to set it up first. So we have created the pool. We will add data set. I'll name it as NAS. Submit. So I've created the subpool inside this dataset, which is the TrueNAS. This is the parent dataset, and this is the dataset which is inside the parent one. So click here, edit permission. I'm going to show you how you can apply the permissions here. So I'm going to click open, default ACL option open, click continue. This will give complete control to anybody who connects to this particular NAS. But if you want, you can customize this ACL and then add the parameters accordingly. Allow, deny, full control, and then basically giving the access to selected users. But in my case, I'm going to give access to all the users who connects to this particular TrueNAS. Now the permissions are also set. You can see this is the open ACL. Now the next thing is to come to the sharing, SMB, add SMB. So this is our TrueNAS Summit. Enable the service. So services can be checked from this particular tab here as well. So you can see SMB is enabled. And this particular setting is for all the users. So the guest user as well as the admin user will be able to access the storage and to read, write, execute all possible permissions available to all the users. Now this is complete. Let's try to access the TrueNAS. So after changing the settings in the sharing SMB, the guest access is allowed. So now you can see here inside the TrueNAS, this is the parent data set, and inside the parent data set we have the secondary data set. So inside this you can paste item. For example, let me try to copy this. So you can see here I'm able to copy this. That's all for this video, and if you have any questions, do leave them in the comment section. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. See you in the next video.